Hello everyone and welcome back to Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, Prowler only. Last time we took on the two final boss monsters, the first, the portable third, being Amatsu, and then the next one being the final boss of the hub, if I can stumble over my words once more, being Nakarkos of Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. This time we'll be taking on something a little bit different, but this will be our final urgent quest for 10-Star Village. I'll be switching to our Cursed Cloud, if I can find where that is at. It is a water element. I will explain a little bit more about Alatreon's weaknesses later, but for now I think it's important to say that I'll kind of take a middle-of-the-road approach. Go ahead and eat for Hurler, and then we will go ahead and take the quest. Run up to the quest board here, and we will see our urgent for hunting an Alatreon in the Ingle Isle, one of my favorite maps, like I said before. I'm being sarcastic, of course. Go ahead and take that and head out on it. Alright, Alatreon, a very, very special monster, utilizing most elements in the game. It's a bit different. If you fought it in World, it can generally kind of use them all at once in a certain mode it goes in, but you do know that it has these special modes of Fire, Dragon, and then Thunder and Ice. It'll start out in the Fire and Dragon mode, and it is going to be weakest to Ice type here. And then whenever it goes to its Thunder and Ice mode, it will jump up in the air and start flying. It'll be weakest to Dragon, but it will also be weak to Fire too. The only element that that gives it a little bit of trouble in both modes is water, since it doesn't use water element itself. If you were wanting to do burst damage, it would be better to just go for the elements that do affect it on one side, but not the other. But since we're really just trying to go for some consistent damage here, we're going to go for water element. It's not the strongest by any means, but it will be the most consistent here, especially since we're better at dealing damage over time than actually dealing it in big large bursts. And since element doesn't really apply to our mega boomerangs, it's good to have a high raw weapon like the Cursed Cloud here. Just gonna go ahead and keep attacking him here. Like I said before, he starts out in his Fire and Dragon state, so you'll see the dragon crackling around him as he does charges and things like that. I think the most important thing to be aware of is when he charges, you do not want to be to his front or his back, because he can swing his head around with that dragon charge, and his tail will also be able to hit you. I think the tail is just a trip, but the dragon can inflict you with Dragon Bite, and I don't think we have enough. Yeah, we have -16 dragon resist. Honestly, probably not the best armor to use, but it is the only deviant armor we have. Go ahead and apply big boomerangs here at some point, but you can tell he is not your average monster. He really is fast and likes to swing out a lot of attacks. This was the special final boss monster of, I believe, Monster Hunter Tri's hub, which you can't really access anymore by official means. Of course, you are able to fight it, I believe, in Monster Hunter Portable 3rd, and then in Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. So it technically is a portable monster like the other ones we fought, but it did originate in a home console title. Get away from this. He does shoot that fireball out, and it does explode pretty far away, or not really far away. Depends on where it lands, but the closest it can land is a little bit from his face, so as long as you stick right up to him, you should be fine. Just make sure you're staying off to the sides and, you know, making sure you're not going to get hit by those horns whenever they do swing around. He can also kind of cause the ground to erupt, similar to a Cantor whenever he's doing his digging attack. Make sure you're just not, you know, standing in one spot and being an easy target to be picked off by those. He's going to jump up and slam down. That's a pretty easy attack to avoid once you know what he's doing. Tracking is pretty decent on this monster, especially for an old gen title. And you'll see he's just kind of going after our cats. Our cats are kind of having a hard time staying alive here, but that's fine. There's another fireball. We'll be able to punish that pretty simply. I believe the head is just the best place for damage in general, but you can go for the tail if you want to cut it off, and the wings and arms I think can be broken, but I might be thinking of the world version. I think for sure the wings can be broken, and you can also break the horns twice, but that's usually a thing for monsters with two horns like Amatsu or, you know, the others. Here comes a tackle. We'll just dodge to that. We got 5 bars of gauge. I think we want to wait. The tackle is a good chance for us to actually throw a mega boomerang out, and especially when he gets to his second mode, we won't really have the easiest time of attacking here. I'll go ahead and try and throw this mega boomerang out. It might be a little slow. No, I don't think so. I'll actually run into it, which is good for us. His roar range is very far. He doesn't look like a monster that would have a very far roar range, but it is. This is not a pushover of a monster. We've got Dragon Blight. I'm going to try and climb up here and kill it off. We also did break a horn with that Mega Boomerang, so that's nice. Go ahead and apply our boomerang buffs again. Now, unlike World, I don't believe breaking the horns gives you an advantage, but that might just be me misremembering. You don't really have much of a reason to fight Alatreon very much in this game, outside, I think, of one of the meta weapons that you would maybe use. It's a status blast weapon that you can get here, but I think you can get it by other means too, so Alatreon really isn't required for it for cats. Now, for hunters, I'm not quite sure. I haven't really seen much Alatreon equipment needing to be used. I think like the Alatreon Greatsword is really good for headlocking, or not really headlocking, but doing heroics runs with Greatsword, especially something like Drake King or any of the Rathians, or even the Rathaloses. They're also kind of weak to Dragon. I'm going to get Tremor'd here. Did also just miss. He did go into his Thunder and Ice stage. Now, you saw him just kind of floating in the air attacking like that. That has decent tracking, but you can move away from it pretty easily. You just want to make sure you're not Tremor'd by it. This is an attack similar to Amatsu, where it will go into the air and start shooting things at you. It's more similar to a different monster, where I think if you know what it is, you know what it is, but I won't spoil that for later. We'll just dig underground there. Probably a good spot for Mega Boomerang, but we don't have enough gauge to actually attack it there, so we'll just not. Keep going for his body here. I'm not too worried about going for the head. You've seen we've already broken the horns, or at least doing some damage to it, but I think the most important thing is consistent damage here. Since it is a high rank hub monster, or sorry, not high rank hub, high rank village monster, it's not going to have the highest health, especially compared to its G rank counterpart. So we don't really have to be too picky with our hit zones, like in the later stages of the game. It's gonna go around here. Just gonna try and throw Boomerang out. We're pretty safe right in here, and as long as you're not too committed to your attacks, you should be fine. I can't really say too much about hunters because they are a bit slower, but you have Valor style and things like that in this game. If you saw the little dragon energy, that means he switches back to his fire and dragon mode. I'm going to be a little greedy here since we do have Gutfight Wind and try and throw this out. He's focusing on our Palicos right now, so we're pretty good to attack there. Did see big boomerangs run out, so we'll go ahead and apply those. See what he's going to do now. He's just going to tackle, so we'll get to his side, back up. Again, I think the tail is just a trip if you get hit by it, but you'd rather not be flinched out of an attack. I do think you can be hit on his right side by his head swing, but it is a smaller hitbox than it would be if you were on the left side of him. A couple more boomerangs there. I'll do another tackle. Go ahead and apply piercing. Here's a little quick jab there. He actually caught me. That's why you don't want to be too close to in front of him. He also has that double horn swing. I'm just trying to position away. This is not a great part of the map to be in, so I'm going to Soothing Roll and just kind of back out. Don't like it whenever that crater is actually there. Some monsters can force it, and I believe Alatreon can at some point if you actually fight around there. But it can force the little crater to just be normal ground. Think like that. There you go. Exactly what I was talking about. He's going to jump back here. I believe in later iterations of the fight, he can shoot a fireball as he jumps back, but not quite in this fight yet. He's back in his Thunder and Ice mode, so back in the air, he's going to shoot out Ice Spears at range, and then he'll just kind of do a Thunder tackle there. You can tell which type of attack he's fixing to use if he is, you know, surrounded by that element, if I can find my words. Just going to kind of growl here, so we'll get some damage off. Here comes another, oh, not another Ice Spear, that's actually an Ice Beam. If you fight Teostra, that's similar to what he does. I don't think we fought Teostra yet. If we have, I don't remember. Throw a couple of boomerangs here. Here's the little Thunder attack. So we actually got cleared of that, surprisingly. I didn't expect that. Can't really draw a comparison to any other monster with that attack yet. There will be some in the future that, you know, kind of have the similar minefield of Thunderbolts. Closest thing I could say is Kieran, but again, I don't think we've fought many of the other Elder Dragons, or the standard Elder Dragons yet. It was just a regular tackle there, not a continuous one. If he does a continuous air tackle where he just kind of tackles you and then climbs back up in the air, he'll be covered in Thunder element to do that. Here comes the Thunder minefield again. We actually got hit by the one behind us, but that's fine. We do have pretty good armor, so we're not taking that much damage. See what he's gonna do next. Just kind of another tackle. I really do not like being around this crater. Maybe try and draw the fight over here, honestly. To get enough range on him, we could probably throw a Mega Boomerang, but we want to play it safe. Another little quirk about Alatreon is his tackles usually have some weird influence of direction. Sometimes they'll go to the right, sometimes they'll go to the left. I don't remember. I used to know the tell for that, but you want to make sure you're not dodging off to the right or left because he will try to track you with that. You know, you want to keep a little bit of distance. If you are just right on his side, you can easily just kind of pivot around him as he does it. But if you are in front of him, you have to be very careful. Here comes this little thunder tap. I said a tackle, it's more of a tap. He uses his fingers to do it. But he'll continuously do it. It has some tracking on it if you're in front of him, but if you're kind of behind him, he'll just do it in random spots. So make sure you're not, you know, over relying on the tracking, because you can just be hit randomly if you're not really accounting for that. We're going at this tail right now. I don't think we'll be able to cut it. We don't really have that much damage. Here comes a tail sweep. I believe if he is enraged, he can apply fire elements to that. There goes an explosion from the fireball. Throw a couple more at his face. I want to look for a chance to do a Mega Boomerang. He's going after our cat, so I might actually try this here. Remember to tap X, I think, after your 4th circle around, and you should be able to just get that out a little bit faster than normal. But it is good to, you know, think, well, if he's fixing to turn around and run at me, I can let it go for a little bit longer and time it to easier hit a weak spot. It's something you get the feel for once you've used the weapon quite a bit. Just a little air tackle again. He can do it pretty quick, and it can be surprising, so try not to lock yourself into a boomerang throw too often. You know, you want to react after he attacks and make sure you're not just, you know, constantly throwing things without keeping an eye on what he's actually fixing to do. Like, there's the fireball, so I can actually punish him there. See what he's going to do next. Here comes another one. Again, keep a safe distance. That has a pretty large hitbox if you are at the contact point. I believe he is poisoned by our cat, so that's pretty good. He's going to growl now and just kind of have a little bit of downtime. Should have charged my boomerangs there. In fact, just missed all of those boomerangs, unfortunately. He's going to go into the air now, so we get a pretty easy chance to just throw a Mega Boomerang here. I'm going to aim it a little low. Here comes the Thunderbolt, and we actually cleared the side quest. I believe that was for his horns. So both of his horns are now broken. Again, like I said before, in World, breaking the horns had the effect of making sure he couldn't go into his the element he was currently in, or switching elements, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. But there's no such thing as Eschaton Judgment or anything like that in this game. It's just kind of a normal monster fight, which, you know, to each their own. I think both fights have their merits. I do definitely think the World fight is much more engaging than this one, but this one is certainly engaging for an older gen monster. Like, you can see how fast he's going compared to something like a Matsu or in the Carcos. Carcos is very slow compared to the monsters we've been fighting. Get hit by the wind press there, actually. I thought I actually got hit by the attack, but it was just the wind press, so we didn't take any damage. Throwing some boomerangs here, see what he's going to do next. He's just repositioning, and he's going to do a thunder tackle. You don't really have a lot of time after the thunder tackle, so don't try to go for a Mega Boomerang there, especially because you saw him follow it up with another one. See what he does next. He's just going to start shooting down some ice again. So I think we'll stay up because he's not really going to be able to hit us, and we do have Go Fight Win for our Mega Boomerangs. So I think he's almost done. There we go. As soon as the ice mist effect goes off the screen, you can start throwing your Mega Boomerang safely. Go ahead and get that out. Hopefully it rebounds on him. It does. We actually get the tail cut. That's very, very nice. We're not gonna carve it yet. Throw a couple more boomerangs at the face. Here comes a Dragon Tackle. Gonna go for another Mega Boomerang here. Again, you're pretty safe after his little Dragon Tackles to throw a Mega Boomerang there. It hovered in his body, so not doing too much damage, but it is still a fairly large amount of damage. I believe all of the hits in total count up to 240 motion value, but my math might be wrong there. Here comes just that little curve tackle. You can see at the start of the tackle, he's not immediately going forward, and that's how you tell which direction he is going. Like that one there, it was short. Once he does reach his target, he will do the head flick. So he won't continue it even after he's hit you if he is going for you. He'll stop right before you even do that. There goes a roar. Of course, if you are too close to him, you'll just be hit by the physical attack anyways, and he won't even be able to go for the flick. Comes another Dragon Tackle. I don't have enough bar gauge here, so we'll just kind of keep throwing boomerangs here, seeing what we can do. All right, there goes another Fireball. Oh, he's doing the turn. We were at a safe enough distance to where we could actually see that. I believe that is similar to Teostra, actually. At the very least in older gens. I remember in Freedom Unite fighting a Teostra like that, where it does kind of those weird curves. You can't really tell, and when you're using something like a bow or even Sword and Shield, it's a lot harder to dodge. Like, Prowler is so much more mobile, and even, I'm sure, bow and Sword and Shield in these games are much more mobile than they are in Freedom Unite. Throw a couple more boomerangs here. You do see that he kind of does whip his tail around. It is an attack. It doesn't do too much damage, but will throw you out of your attack animation. Comes more ice spears. We'll see what he's going to do next. He's just kind of growling in the air now, so that means he's going to do this. Contemplating if I do want to go ahead and apply piercing boomerangs. We'll wait after the ice spears have all finished. Or at the very least, if I'm in a safe spot. I think I'm pretty safe here, so we'll go ahead and apply them. It did hit you there, I think. Yeah, it hit you, but not me, thankfully. So we'll just get a couple of regular boomerangs off. Probably could have waited to do the mega boomerang or waited to do piercing, but I think this is fine. All right, he's back to fire mode now, so we'll just keep going at his face. Again, we don't really have to worry about doing more damage in a certain phase than the other. We can kind of just do it however we feel. We did break a leg, so that means we will actually get a topple. So go ahead and throw that mega boomerang off, and there we go. Final mega boomerang killed him. After the very climactic ending screen, we'll go ahead and carve him up, and I'll meet you back at base. Welcome back. I'm so glad you're safe. You're really the best, like actually the best in the entire world. Wow. I mean, I value you as a crewmate and a friend. Thank you for your continued efforts. After that little bit of praise from the Wild Venture, I believe we are finished. Yeah, I think we're completely finished. Not, you know, with 100% of all of the stuff, but all of the urgent quests are done. Now, I believe after completing all of the quests from low rank and high rank village, you might get some more urgent quests. Just for like 100% completion, and I believe those are G rank scaled at the very least in damage, not in health. But we're gonna go ahead and look at the Alatreon equipment real quick. Alright, first up is the Escador Scythe. It comes with 155 melee and ranged, as well as the Dragon being 26 in melee and 20 in ranged. Has 0% affinity, unlike the Shigaru weapon, but the extra little bit of raw compared to the Dragon might make you want to use it. In fact, it might be better. Biggest issue here is that it does require you hunting Yukanlos, Akantor, and Alatreon all at once, and you could really only make it at the very tail end of High Rank Village. It is pretty good, and if you were just continuing in High Rank, like going to High Rank Hub or something like that, instead of, you know, coming from High Rank Hub into High Rank Village, it would be pretty good. But we've already got the Shigaru weapon. I could make this if I wanted to, but I think we'll hold off for now. Next up is the Escador Wisdom. The Alatreon helmet comes with 110 defense, having 3 resistance in all of the elements except Dragon, which is a -6. So very good defense and pretty good for a balanced resistance set if you're looking for something for that. And finally, the Escador Soul coming with 200 defense, same as the Amatsu armor, and having the same resistance set. Pretty good, especially if you are still using, I believe, the regular deviant stuff. Like, very nice, and you don't have to, you know, hunt all of the deviants or anything like that, if I can speak. So very good if you do have the stuff. You still have to hunt Yukanlos and Akantor, which you have to do it anyway for the High Rank Hub or High Rank Village. Sorry, I keep saying that over and over again, but it's pretty good. I think we'll still hold off. It's only 10 more defense on the body and however much more on the head, 106 to 110, so it's only 4 more defense. I don't really think we'll need it, especially as we go into G rank. We'll be just getting better armor, I think in like G2 or G3. So not really the most important thing there, but they are options, especially are really good if you are going from High Rank Village to High Rank Hub. Either way, that is it for Village, both low rank and high rank. We're now done with it. Our next little foray will be into G rank, and that is going to take a very long time to get through, but as it should. That was the addition in Generations Ultimate along with High Rank Village. So either way, hope you enjoyed. If you did, please consider leaving a comment below and maybe even consider subscribing. Until next time, bye.